another kind of talking point that's come in from one of our hotline emailers, Danny Hyland. He's asking about James Forrest. Obviously, he was attracting a lot of the headlines towards the end of the domestic season, but he's been a wee bit under the radar since he's met up with Scotland. Clarke hasn't done or said anything to suggest James Forrest will play at right wing back. Why has it been earmarked for that role? It's a role, guys, that we know he can play. Thought Anthony Ralston did really well against Finland. I don't know what you guys think.
You quite fancy him in that?
I do.
Right wing back.
I do. We were asked to, think up of a potential curveball for Friday night, and I do see there's a risk factor involved, and that's probably why it won't happen. But I like the idea of James Forrest in that role, and I wonder, more to the point, if Steve Clarke is looking at it possibly for the next two games. Maybe we might need to be a bit more defensively structured and robust and less adventurous for the opening match. But James Forrest, for me, I actually think that he's, in terms of what is available to us right now, without Aaron Hickey, without Patterson, which we all know about, I think he provides the balance in terms of he can offer down the right-hand side what Andy Robertson is going to offer you down the left, in terms of being able to carry the ball, drive at people, good quality delivery into the last third. I really like the idea of James Forrest playing that role. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure that Steve Clarke is quite convinced that he can afford to be. He'd probably think that was quite a reckless move to make in the opening game against Germany. He might also have an idea in his head that with 15-20 to go, if we need a goal, that might be the move. That you take off a more defensive guy in that position and you put James Forrest on and you go a bit hell for leather.
Yeah, listen, the obvious concern about James Forrest there would be his defensive nous. I mean, obviously he'd be great going forward, and I don't doubt he would put a shift in going back. Maybe he would put the graft in, but no, Keith and Mick will know. It's more that kind of mental side that they'll be able to switch on defensively. And listen, you're going to be in the back foot against the Germans for a lot of the game, you would imagine, on Friday night, coming up against absolute flying machines like Leroy Sané and Florian Wirtz and people like that. So I would doubt very much whether Forrest will be in his mind for the right back role on Friday. However, no, I do think, depending on how the tournament's going, he could be used there, in the other games. I actually think he'll go the other way on Friday. I can see Steve Clarke going, not ultra defensive, but he'll want a defensive player at right wing back. Now, whether that's Ralston or McCrory, or even somebody like a Jack Hendry. I think I mentioned that in the paper today, that I wouldn't be against Jack Hendry starting at right back, because he's played there before. He can do the job. He's obviously got that defensive nous. I think he's confident enough to go up against a Sané and that, and he wouldn't be unfazed. And you've still got guys like Ryan Porteous, Grant Hanley, Kieran Tierney as your back three. You've got others there, Cooper, McKenna. So I tend to think he'll go the other way, Steve Clarke, for this first game, and be a bit more defensive minded. As I say, whether that's Ralston or he goes with one of the kind of centre backs like Hendry, I'm not sure, but certainly Forrest could play there later in the tournament.
Having said everything,
I don't see him